Hello and welcome. I am Scarperlock, and this is City of Villains on the Rebirth server with Nightmare Lass, our level 37 Mastermind, on our way to level 38, and our final secondary power from our Pain power set, 144 million infamy, and about a little over half a million XP to go to get to the next level. We'll probably need a couple of episodes to do that. We are on a story arc for Hardcase, who says, I don't like these increased demons attacks around St. Marshall. Psst, I make demon attacks. First regular Joes on the street, then an attack on the Golden Giza itself. Actually, we weren't in the Golden Giza, we were in a different building. Yeah, there's a little bit of error there. Circle of Thorns have been trying to control the Whalers for a while, so they might have insight into what the Whalers are up to. Hit a circle hideout and interrogate their leader, Karthist, and find out what they know about the Whalers' plans. Alright, so we are going to go and hit a COT hideout. We should be okay because I do have this ability here that allows us to reduce the resistance and defense of enemies, and I can use that against behemoths. And also, I've started having my guys attack the behemoths first, and that will often freeze them before my guys get within range, and usually that's sufficient to prevent them from turning on their invincibility and making it so that my guys can't hit. I probably should bring a few extra insights just in case, but I don't have them in my hands and I'm too lazy to go get them, so we'll just survive. It'll be fine. So we're going inside this mission here, and we're going to pound the circle and interrogate them. As I mentioned in a couple of earlier videos, I'm looking around for another game to do a Let's Play with. I started with Planet Zoo and got frustrated with the bugs, so I stopped doing that. I took a look at Endless Legend. I don't think I'm going to do a Let's Play of that. I don't think I'm going to like it enough to want to do that. I did take a look at and actually started recording an episode of XCOM Enemy Within, which is actually the expansion version of XCOM Enemy Unknown, and it's very cool. It adds a whole bunch of interesting gameplay. I did the tutorial, I did a whole bunch of narrative, and at the end of the tutorial, there's a cinematic that crashed my computer. And it didn't crash the game, right? Yes, the game crashed, but it didn't just crash the game. It crashed my whole computer. And are we getting attacked? Here we are. I had to shut my computer down, restart it. It didn't want to restart. I actually had to restart it a couple of times before I was able to get my startup screen to come, and I attacked the wrong guy first here. Sorry about that. I'm busy talking. There is sort of a known bug with this, and it's possible that I could, after some iterations, figure it out so that it's not crashing. But I don't want to risk the potential damage to my hardware in having it freeze up my computer and me having to repeatedly reboot, and it logged into a blank screen a couple of times. I didn't know if I was going to get my computer back or if I was going to have to go repair the hardware or something. To me, it's not worth it to risk that to my computer just to play a game that's 6 years old and I've already played 2 or 3 times. So I will look around for something else and we'll see what I come up with. Until then, we'll just keep playing City of Heroes. No problem with that. It's a fun game, and I enjoy it. And those of you who have been watching presumably enjoy watching me play it. So we'll just keep going with this. And there's an Earthwork caster right there. Trying to see what else is here. So we've now aggroed 2 spawns, so that's not good. Not sure I could have avoided aggroing both spawns, because they were both so close to the door. But we're alright. Okay. Who else is over there? Just the Behemoth Overlord? That looks a little weird, but alright. There must be somebody else over here. Nope. I'm tab targeting and I don't see anybody else. This is just a path back to the original room, so we're going to ignore that for now. And this is probably a path back as well. Yep. So this all just leads back to the original room. So we're going to go deeper into the lair here, because I assume... Oh, wait, we have 2 victims to interrogate. Hang on. I was going to say, I assume the leader is all the way in deep, but we got to make sure there aren't any victims in these other rooms here. So let's just go ahead and clean this out. Yeah, I was really disappointed. I was having fun narrating XCOM. The tutorial mission is pretty cool. It's also pretty brutal. You don't realize it. You think you can keep your team alive, but actually all but one of them die. It's basically scripted. And it's just showing you how to run the mechanics of the game. And, you know, how to use cover and control your teammates and flank enemies and things like that. And it seems like, are we being ambushed? Yeah. I wonder what triggered that ambush. We haven't freed anybody. So it's pretty cool. You go through the tutorial, 3 of the 4 guys die, and then you start your... You go to what's going to become your base, and you slowly expand it. It's a pretty cool mechanism where you're... what you're doing is kind of viewing the side of the base. It's kind of 3-dimensional, but not really, and you're like looking at it through the side, and you're building down into this like underground lair, and you're adding rooms to the base, and you have to pay to add the rooms to the base, and you slowly increase the rooms, and the rooms give you ability to train your troops and give the troops better equipment and do experiments to get better weapons, and then as you steal items from the aliens, you can research them and get even better weapons and that sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. I'm kind of bummed that I am not going to be playing it, but I don't want to risk damaging my computer to play an old game. And again, I could troubleshoot it and probably figure it out, but I don't want to have multiple lockups of my PC while I'm trying to figure it out. There are a couple of proposed solutions if anybody's trying to play the game and has this problem and it's not taking your computer down and you want to just try to stop the game from freezing up. Supposedly one of the issues are the .bic files, which are movie files, and somehow when those get executed, they cause a problem, and one of the patches or bug fixes is to rename the movie folder so the game can't find the movies and it just skips them. Of course, I really like the cinematics and they really tell you much of the story, so I'm not necessarily on board for where is this guy that I just targeted? Upstairs. I'm not necessarily on board to play the game without the cinematics. We've got an ambush coming, but we should have this guy dead by the time the ambush hits us. I think it's going to appear over here. Let's go, guys. Get him. Come on up. Don't really see the ambush coming, so let's see what else is up here. And I've got them sticking because I don't want them to fall down. I want to explore this place myself. Are there any hostages? I don't see any. So, alright guys, come with me. We will get further into the base. There's a hostage. Let's hope she doesn't bug out on me. Let's see if we can summon the demon here. Probably not, but let's try. And we'll leave the Lord. Yeah, no, we aggroed him too. I should have just gone in and attacked him. But the hostage has been freed, it looks like. So she ran away, but we don't get credit for saving her yet. Until we've defeated these guys. So we just have to hope that she counts after we've defeated them. And you can see my guys are having trouble hitting because they've been heavily debuffed. I'm not going to go ahead and use any abilities on him because I want to save them for the Behemoth Lords, or who are even harder to hit. The Behemoth Masters, or whatever they're called. So we freed one victim. And now we know that we are looking for an area, like a spot where we have bad guys who are generating that green, misty energy. And that probably will be what we'll see surrounding the next hostage as well. So that should help us find them more easily. Go get the Behemoth. And there he goes, he's locked. Now these guys don't have the invincibility, but they can self-heal. So the lock should prevent him from self-healing. I almost never use that whip. Okay, that takes out the Earththorn caster. Stay there, guys. Let's see what else we have here. Alright, let's bring the demon over and see if we can nail him. There we go. The other guys are coming. So that was a pretty good pull. We finished the demon before the two guides came. We got the guides over here, which prevents the rest of the room from aggroing to me. So my guys can stay here. We'll see what else is around. So there is somebody else. Let's summon. There we go. Oh, and there's a Demon Lord I didn't see. But we took care of him right away. And now the Demon Lord. Get him. And he's frozen. Good job, guys. That should make him much easier to deal with because he won't be constantly hitting us with debuffs. There we go. Very nice. That worked really well. Good job, guys. Good job, my minions. My demons. Using demons to fight other demons. It's sort of ironic that I'm using demons and there should be the other hostage. I'm using demons to stop people from being hurt by demons. Alright, we're going to just go right in. Hopefully he'll get frozen. There we go. That's what we want. And that's why with this crew, if there's a lieutenant that has annoying abilities, you want to open up against the lieutenant because one of the first things that the big demon, who I call Curly, does is throw out an ice block to entangle, to hold the enemies. And now this guy is trying to escape. See, it says I must escape. So we're going to put our demons at the entrance here. Let's see what we got. There he is. Okay. Hit him. And let me debuff him here. Bam. That should reduce his resistance. I'm not going to bother with Hell on Earth. I don't think we really need it for a simple boss. Oh, Meanie needs some help. It's interesting that these leaders have the name Ist at the end of their names, like Akarist, and now this is Karthist. Alright, we killed the leader. We didn't have to kill anybody else, but we'll finish these guys off. May as well use our buffs while we've got them. Good job, guys. Anybody else interesting in here? Behemoth Overlord. Not really interesting. Alright, I think that's good enough. We can head out. If there'd been a boss in there or something, I would have attacked him, but I think Karthus was the only boss. Clues. Circle of Thorns interrogation. The leader of the Circle of Thorns temple relates his knowledge of the Whalers' plans. There should be an apostrophe there. Apparently the Whalers are desperately trying to get breakthrough wards scattered around Babylon, trying to get someone within the Golden Giza. So they're trying to break through wards. That's terrible writing. Guys, somebody proofread. Well, if they really knew, we already knew the demons were wanting to get into the Giza, and by all accounts, it's likely because they want to get to the Giza star Johnny Sonata. It looks like Johnny's luck is about to run out. Yeah, I guess we should have done this story arc before we did the Johnny Sonata story arc. Listen up, we know the Whalers are trying to break into the Golden Giza, and we've got a pretty good idea why. I just got more info on that raid the demons made on the offices by the casino. Apparently, there was one of the Carnival's shadows nearby there acting suspiciously, a woman named Paradox. She was recently, that's a great name, Paradox. She was recently seen heading into the hard way to an abandoned warehouse. Track her down and find out what she was up to at the casino. Alright, so we're going to head over there. Not too far away. I need to do something about this salvage. I'm totally out of space. I need to go back to the base, actually, after this, when I finish recording and put some of it away. And I need to see if there are some recipes that I actually have the ingredients for, but I'm not carrying the ingredients for. I've got to check that out. But for now, we're going to stick with our missions. Interrogate Paradox. Hopefully she won't speak in paradoxes. Who is that? There was a character in DC Comics. Was it Etrigan? Used to speak in rhyme all the time? All of his dialogue was in rhyme. That must have been such a pain in the neck to write. Alright, so this is Whalers, but there's a carnival in here somewhere. Man, we just like cut these guys down so fast. Go for it, boys. Let's take a look. We've now earned more than 250,000 prestige. Which again, because we're not even 40th level yet, is pretty good. You can see that we don't earn a lot for a minion. You get about 17 prestige. That will go up as we level up. And, you know, by the 47th level, we'll be earning, I don't know, twice as much, 40, 50 prestige, maybe 3 times as much per minion. It's really much easier to earn prestige. If you remember back, initially we were earning like 5 or 6 per minion. So we need to find Paradox. I'm assuming she's going to be deep in this warehouse somewhere. in the end, but we'll go ahead and beat up the whalers while we're here. Demon to demon. Nobody else around. Alright. Forward we go. We're not looking for any glowies, so I guess we're just looking for Paradox. And once we find her and beat up her and everybody around her, we will be finished. Yeah, so there's one really interesting phenomenon with Let's Plays. As you've seen with mine, a lot of people who do Let's Plays do under an hour. Sometimes people do an hour. Most people try to keep it to 20 to 30 minutes. And that's what I've been trying to do, is keep it around half an hour. I feel like that's a pretty good amount of time for watching a single episode of this. Some of my episodes are longer because I go into what I think is going to be a short mission and it takes a really long time, or I don't realize that we've been playing. You know, it's very easy to lose track of your time on a game like City of Heroes that's super fun. So some of my episodes are a little longer, but the average is around 30-35 minutes. And that's not a lot of time to play a game. I mean, most people, when they play games, play for a lot longer than that. You know, I have a friend, for example, who, you know, he'll start playing a video game like this at, 9 o'clock at night and play till 2 in the morning. And he thinks I'm crazy to start at 9 and stop at 10 or 10:30, let alone after half an hour. And you sort of get the sense on games that take a long time to play, like getting to level 50 in City of Heroes, or like playing a game such as Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis, which are clearly have many, many hours, could take you 100 hours to finish a playthrough. And the sort of assumption I always made with long games like this is that to make any progress at all, to make it worth even playing, you got to play for a lot of hours, right? You want to get to level 50 in City of Heroes, you need to be playing 3-4 hours a day, or it's going to take forever, right? And one of the interesting things I found watching Let's Plays is that I'd watch these, people playing, say, Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis or Civilization. These are long games. Watch them playing, I don't know, Euro Truck, any of these things that take many hours to play through a campaign or through a game. And one of the things that I noticed is, even though they could play like 30 minutes a day, and I'm watching the playthrough months after they filmed it, but they did 30 minutes a day, and they've been doing this thing for 3 or 4 months. They made an awful lot of progress just doing 30 minutes a day. And I realized watching those Let's Plays that you could do this. So here we are. Again, I only play Nightmare Lass half an hour to an hour a day, and yet we're 37th level, heading to 38th. We've made a lot of progress. We have all but one of our secondary powers, and pretty much all the primary powers we're going to need. I'm not going to need the attack powers, and I don't know if I'll bother to get them. We're doing really well. We're fighting red and orange cons. And if you think about the progress we've made with this character, just a half an hour a day, it shows that you don't have to be single-mindedly like grinding through a game 5 hours a day to make progress. Now, yes, it's obviously, and there's Paradox, and there are 2 bosses here. Silvertongue. Didn't we capture Silvertongue? It's obviously the case that you're going to make 5 times as much progress if you play 5 times as much per day. No question about that. But you can make significant and enjoyable progress by, by just playing half an hour at a time. And one of the things I also noticed is that I've had a lot more, say, longevity with this game. I have a lot more staying power. Oh, wow, they killed one of our guys right away. Let's try to keep Curly alive. See if we can survive with one missing minion until we kill at least one boss. Alright, so now we should be able to summon the other guy. Because I don't think this one boss will be able to kill him by himself. To kill my guys by himself, right? Um, Paradox didn't just respawn, did she? No, she's dead. Oh, she won't respawn, she's a carnival. So yeah, as I was going to say, you can make a... I feel like I have a lot more staying power. Many of my guildmates from both the original supergroup I was in, the United, and the Daybreak Initiative, many of them... I'm going to fight this guy again. Many of them don't play City of Heroes anymore. They're done. They leveled up their character to 50 the first 3 or 4 weeks the game was live, playing, 8 hours a day. They did all this grinding on incarnate powers and incarnate abilities, and yeah, they've got tier 4 and all their incarnates, and they played for, 5 times as much per day as I did, 10 times as much per day as I did. But they're done with City of Heroes. They burned out. And because I only play it half an hour to an hour a day, it's sort of this relaxing thing that I do often at the end of the day. I've done a bunch of work on my D&D campaign, or I've done a bunch of grading for my students. And now it's like, okay, let me unwind and play City of Heroes for a half hour or an hour. Maybe I'll record 2 episodes back to back and then post them on subsequent days or what have you. And so I've gotten multiple characters to 50 little by little, and I've really enjoyed it. I've never gotten tired of City of Heroes because I don't play it enough to get tired of it. I just play it enough to enjoy it, and then I move on to something else. So, but that's my choice. Lots of other people rather just play a game to death for 3 months and then switch games. Everybody's got their own preferred way of playing. But one of the things I do definitely see is that you can make an awful lot of progress just doing a couple of missions a day and just doing it every single day. All right, let's talk to Hardcase. Let's see, what clue do we get here? Paradox says, she relates that one of the local carnival leaders named Lady Devereaux made a deal with the whaler demon known as Silvertongue. She would sneak into the offices at the Golden Giza to break a few wards, keeping out the whalers. In return, they would help the Shadows set up a chaos affair on the streets of St. Marshall. So I guess we're going to be working on that next. He says the whalers struck a deal with the Carnival of Shadows that's got bad news written all over it. This Carnival of Chaos sounds like it's going to be trouble here in St. Marshall. Let's see, how long have we been playing, speaking of time? We're almost at half an hour, so I think, guys, we're going to stop here. I will do some work getting rid of the salvage and maybe building some enhancements if I have the salvage to do it. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains.